Hello everyone. Now, me and my groups will present about our speech report with the title of The Urgent Case of Antibiotic-Free Animals.
Hi everyone, my name is Dayan. Entry number 2617770. Today, I would like to present my part in the speech analysis. The first part which I would like to present is how does the speaker gain attention and interest of the audience. The speaker had gained the attention and interest of the audience via four ways, which are relate the topic to the audience, started the audience, arouse the curiosity of the audience, and question the audience. Now, I will explain each of them. First, the speaker had gained the attention from the audience by relating the topic learns. We can see for the example which the, but actually I should say was, because nowadays we are using antibiotics so much, antibacterial that cause this infection and becoming resistant. And that should really scare the hell out of us. This can relate them to the topics and make them pay more attention on how the antibiotics can affect them. Next, let us look into the example. If we do not change our behaviors and wean ourselves off antibiotics, the UN predict that by 2050, antimicrobial resistance will become our single biggest killer. From this, we can know that the speaker tried to use the erasing statements to startle the audience here to the topic. Moreover, the speaker tried to arouse the curiosity of the audience by the statement, "Whoa, wow, 15 to 80% of all bad antibiotics are used by the animals. Not all of these are critical for human health. But if we do not get it under control right now, we are looking at a very scary future for humans and animals alike." Lastly, the speaker used question skill to make his audience attract to the topics and more willing to listen deeply on that. We can see from the example, which is, "But I had to break it to you. The problem doesn't stop there. You know who else take antibiotics?"
Hello everyone, my name is Zuitio Huiru and my metric number is 263428. So now I would like to continue to question 2, which is, does the speaker establish his credibility in the speech? Yes, these are my answers, because the speaker has established the credibility by both first-hand knowledge and also his own experiences. First, he used the knowledge that he studied before. There are some examples on it. First, the speaker has stated out one example of his knowledge statement. He has stated out that 50 to 80% of the oil are used by animals. About the history of the use of antibiotics. Next, he also stated out that antibiotic resistance bacteria will be occur after using the antibiotic without caring. Some of the example names of antibiotics resistant bacteria had been stated by the speaker, which is Salmonella, and the effects of this type of antibiotic resistant bacteria, Salmonella, to humans had also been stated out by the speaker. This all has shows his credibility, because without enough knowledge and also the study, he would not be able to state out all these statements. Besides the knowledge, the speaker also used his own experience to establish his credibility, which means his experience on joining a large European feed company before become his ability to give deeper information, and this became the credibility of the speaker itself.
The next part, which I would like to present is, does the speaker preview the body of the speech? Give example. In the speech, the speaker had previewed the main point of the speech, which will be delivered. He also made the audience prepare themselves for the flow of the speech, will be given and word the preview more clearly and concisely to his audience too. We can see from the example. This is also the time I personally enters the scene. I joined a large Europe field compounders, and a feed compounders makes a total diet for a farmer to feed his animals and often also provide the advice on how to raise the animals in the best way. I was really motivated to work together with my colleagues, veterinarians, and of course, the farmers to figure out how to keep the animals healthy and antibiotic free. That's all my presentation today. Thank you.
Muhammad Siddiq, and my metric number is 258169. Okay, so I will explain the questions number 4, 10, and 12. Okay, so let's answer the question number 4. Question number 4 is asking about what is the main point of the speech. Okay, so let's talk about the main point first. Main point is the vital part or the core part of the speech. So what is the speaker wants to deliver is the main point. So in this speech, the speakers will deliver 3 main points. Let's jump to the first main point. The first main point is small and regular doses of antibiotics can lead to build up the antibiotic resistance. And then the subtopic of the first one is the spread of antibiotic resistance to the animal, and then the antibiotics that are much more critical to human health. Then followed by the second main point of the speech, which is the increasing of antibiotic uses on the animal, and then the subtopic is how to raise animal in the best way, and then the antibiotic free productions. The last one is better nutrition for the animals with the subtopic of diet compositions and also the structure of the diet itself.
Touching in with metric number 2630x6. Throughout the whole speech, the speaker supported the main point with brief example and expert testimony. By using brief example, the speaker can transfer their point easily. For example, this year, more than 100 people got infected with a multi-drug resistant salmonella after feeding pig ears as a treat to their dog. This example can make the audience more understand what they want to convey. The speaker used, this is also the time I personally entered the scene. I joined a large European feed compounder. A feed compounder made a total diet for the farmer to feed his animal and often provide advice on how to raise the animal in the best way. So the speaker can lend their credibility because the speaker is a person who joined a large European feed compounder. The speaker can speak accurately about how they keep the animals healthy and antibiotic free. The speaker speak on question of policy and use problem solution order to organize the speech. First, the speaker stated out the problem, which is antibiotic resistant bacteria match criteria for human health. Bacteria is not only come from pets, but also come from the final product that people eat every day. Second, the reduction of the antibiotic is to conceal the bad farm practices. These bad farm practices cause many animals death. After that, the speaker points out 3 major things that we can take to solve the problem. First, he persuades the audience that hygiene is very important. Then, the speaker say that a well-balanced diet can prevent the growth of pathogen. The last thing that we can take to solve the problem is
Give the same diet for the animals.
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Nazmi Akmal Birrahman. I'm from Group 1, and today I'm going to present the speech analysis report. So basically, there are two questions which is my part, which is question 7 and question 8 that I'm going to present. What is question 7 about firstly? Question 7 asks about how does the speaker use the resources of the language, and then explain. Okay, let me explain first what is the resources of language. Resources of language is basically to discuss the style and the rhetoric of passage. Such topics as direction, syntax, figurative language, and imagery are all examples of resources of language. The speaker used the resources of language very accurately. For example, the speaker had stated United Nations predict by 2050 antimicrobial resistance will become our single biggest killers and must start to act now to overcome that problem. So very clearly, very accurately. After that, the speaker also had used percentage to describe the trend of the data. For example, the speaker said that 50 to 80% of all antibiotics are used by animals. The speaker also used the resources of language very clearly. They use a concrete words to tangible the object, people, place, and thing. For example, the speaker used a few countries, for example, such as Germany, Netherlands, and UK to compare the protein content in the piglet diets in countries that are much more vigilant in reducing antibiotics. So basically, the speaker used the resources of the language with clearly and accurately. That was question 7. Question 8 is about what type of connective used in the speech. Are the connective effectively used? Then give example. So firstly, connective are words or phrases that join together thought of a speech to indicate the relationship between of them. Connective are effectively used because connective are essential to help the audience focus on the main idea without having them guess which idea the speaker thinks are more important. There are 4 connective used in the speech, which is transition, internal preview, internal summaries, and signpost. The speaker used transition to indicate what idea is being left and what idea is coming up. For example, the speaker used phrase, sound great, right? Pro sound great, right? Problem solved. No wait, not so fast. As soon as the reaction program started, it was very quickly discovered and the antibiotic had been perfect blanket to cover up a lot bad farm practice. After that, the speaker also used the internet preview. Internet preview direct the audience to what area will be covered next. Internet preview generally appear once the speaker has finished transition after to start a new main point. The speaker simply preview the subpoint which make up the point being addressed. For example, the speaker explained now there are 3 major things that need to happen for antibiotic-free production, and the speaker going to explain by playbook. Then the speaker also use internal summary. Internal summary are the flip side of internal preview. Rather than indicating what subpoint are followed in the speech, internal summary remind the listener what subpoint have been discussed. Internal summaries are excellent ways to reinforce and clarify idea which is essential for the audience to remember. The following are examples of internal summaries. For example, the speaker used in phrase, so what do you think? What direction do we take? Do we allow antimicrobial resistance to become our biggest killer? At huge financial and personal cost? Or do we decide reducing human antibiotic consumption to really start embracing antibiotic free for animal production? So that will be a question there. For me, the choice is very obvious. Lastly, the speaker used signposts. Okay, signposts are short statements which tell the audience where the speaker is in the speech. Oftentimes, signposts are number of words which suggest that what speaker is about to say about the important main things the speaker want to say. The following are example of the signposts that are used by the speaker. For example, to begin, let's talk about we ended up here. So the speaker wants to say the important thing uh, before the main idea. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, now I will move to question 9. The causal reasoning is the reasoning that the speaker relies most throughout the speech. Relation between causal and effects had been stated out by the speaker through his speech. Do we allow antimicrobial resistance to become our biggest killer at huge financial and a spatial personal cost? Is the sentence that has showing the causal reasoning. Antimicrobial resistance cannot be stated as the only reason that will become the biggest killer of humans, and also this not the only cause to aware us that we must to do some actions on it. The fallacies used in the speech is false cause, so the speaker relies most to causal reasoning throughout the speech.
Okay, so let's jump into the next question, which is question number 10. Question number 10 is, what type of emotional appeal and are they effectively used by the speaker? Okay, first thing first, let's talk about the emotion first. Emotional appeal is used to make the audience feel the same feeling with the speaker. So, on the other words, the speakers want to make the same emotion with the audience, or speakers want the audience to feel exactly the same with the speakers. So, it's oftenly used by speakers which have concern to make a move or to make the audience to do something. When the speakers can make the audience engage to the speech and also with himself, it's easier for speaker to persuade them to do something because they have already the same emotion with the speaker. Okay, during the speech, the speaker uses emotion of compassion. Compassion is usually used to the topics which is sympathetic, pity, and concern for the sufferings of misfortunes of others. For example, the speaker says, combine this with how close we live with our companion's animal, and you understand the risk of you picking the antibiotic resistance bacteria from your own pet. And then the speakers continue to the another sentence, but how do these antibiotic resistant bacteria in farm animals affect you? So, in these sessions, the speaker tries to make the audience more aware about the topic that the speakers want to deliver. And then the emotional appeal in the speech is very effectively used by the speaker from the start until the end of the speech. The audience seems to feel the same emotions and also the same understanding with the speaker. The speaker succeeded to drive the audience by the side of the emotions. And also in the last clip, we can show that the expressions of the audience feel the same emotions as the speakers.
Now we move to the question 11. Dissolved antimatters the is used by the speaker to audience for ending the speech. The speaker made conclusion by generating emotional appeal fading step by steps to a dramatical final statement. The strong emotion like crescendo ending did not used by the speaker to build the zenith of power and intensity. The speaker used deep emotion to attract his audiences, saying again about the topic. The speaker asks the questions and answers it by his own. Then he tells some issues about antibiotics. Lastly, he informs his audience that we need to start doing some actions in order to avoid the bacterial infections becoming the biggest killers to humans. Now let us move to the last questions, which is questions 12.
Okay, at last but not least, questions number 12, the last questions of the report. Okay, the question number 12 is, how does the speaker reinforce the central idea? First thing first, what is the reinforcement of the central idea? Reinforce, in short, is the restatement or to strengthen the idea that already mentioned to make sure the audience really understand what is the speaker is talking about. On the speech, the speaker ended the speech by referring back to the introductions. He go back to the statement and the question that he already asked and he already said in the introduction part. For example, in the last of his speech, he asked back to the audience, do we allow antimicrobial resistance to become our biggest killer at huge financial and special personal cost? This question is already stated on the introduction part. By doing this, the speaker tries to stimulate the audience to think and take actions based on the problem while he provides the cause and the solutions during the speech. Also, the audience will have enough reason and facts to think by his speech. This method is an excellent way to give the speech psychological unity is to conclude by referring to ideas in the introduction part. Well, that's it from me. That's it from my friends. And also for you guys, please stay safe, stay healthy, and just stay at home. Thank you for watching and bye bye.